Nothing frustrates me more than the plethora of so-called marketing people and agencies using the words branding and brand entirely incorrectly. That frustrates me because I've been in the industry for 35 years, and as Warren alluded to, I've helped produce a few brands in my time. The trouble is everybody keeps interchanging that, and when you're running a business, the real challenge for you is to know what you're actually asking for when you're asking for help from the marketing industry in terms of your brand or indeed your branding. I don't know if you're familiar with the purple cow, whether you've ever heard of the purple cow. The purple cow, my little friend, the purple cow here, is inspired by a book by Seth Godin called, surprisingly, The Purple Cow. And the principle of the purple cow is very simple. If you look at a field of cows, what do you see? Now, in its perfect childlike way, you probably see a field of Frisian cows, black and white, and they all look broadly the same. But each individual cow has individual markings, a bit like us as human beings. If you look at a crowd of people, it looks like a crowd of people, but each individual is individual within that, with your own markings. The trouble is, whenever you're trying to present your business in a world that's full of other businesses, and indeed some selling exactly the same thing as you are, surprisingly, then looking like all the other cows in the field is not so bright. So what Seth Godin said was, what you should do is you should become a purple cow, so that when you look at that field of black and white cows, there's in the middle of it a purple one. Which cow would you look at first if you saw a purple one? This one here. This cow would stand out completely. The trouble is, this is simply branding. It just means that you've got a set of clothes. You've dressed yourself in a certain way to go out in public so that people look at you first over and above everybody else. And what happens is there's lots of people who learn how to use Photoshop and Illustrator, and they work in web companies and digital companies, and they work all of these things, and they're really good at design. And what they do is they say, what we're going to do is help create your brand. And what they do is they design you something that looks lovely, that looks better than the thing you did in Word or PowerPoint, and it looks professional and it looks super. The problem is it does this. It puts lipstick on a pig. It puts lipstick on something that is still a pig. And it doesn't matter how much lipstick you put on the pig. Is there? No, the fact is it's still a pig. The truth of the matter is that branding is not what you should be doing. What you should be doing is creating a brand. Now, let me just share my screen and give you a definition of brand. Because actually there's a great phrase that works for most of us. And it's often misquoted as, if you build it, they will come. Now, many years ago, I said, well, that's complete nonsense. You need marketing. Actually, that's not true anymore, because as you know, from the work with the guys here, actually, there's lots of things you can be doing to make things work, so that you create a product staircase so people come, because they're looking for you right now. That's how it works as a work. But actually, today, they will come if you build it in the right way. But the thing you've got to build is your brand, not your branding. It's not sufficient. So what you've got to do is look at the two definitions. The first definition of branding is, it's simply, as I said, the clothes that business wears when it goes out in public. And it's really defined by a name, a logo, a look, a feel. All of those things are simply branding. They may make you look good in the market. They may mean you can stand out in the market, but the reality is that's all you're doing. And actually it becomes an expression of your value proposition, but it is not a demonstration of your value proposition. And the key thing about building your business out so that engaging with the marketplace is actually you've got to demonstrate your value proposition so that people go, ah, I see, well, you could be worth more than the money in my pocket. So that's kind of the definition of a branding. So what's the definition of brand? Well, we spent in 1999, and when I was actually the youngest managing director of a top 200 advertising agency, not marketing manager. So what actually we did is we spent 3.5 months coming up with a definition of brand. And I'm going to share that with you now, because this fundamentally changes the way you think about brand. And we define brand in the following way: as every experience that affects the relationship between a product or service and its buyer. Now, let me just explain this very quickly. First of all, a true brand can only exist in the mind of a buyer, somebody who has exchanged the one single currency they have available to them, which is time. Now, just to make economies work, we've converted time into money, because what you do is you go to work, you earn money, and so you give up your personal time to earn money, and then you use that money to buy other people's products and services, which they've spent time making or creating. So actually, it is only at the point of transfer of that currency, that time currency, do you really have a sense of the true value that a product or service is providing you. But the key thing about brand today is that it is a relationship. And your job as either a personal brand or as a business brand is to build commercial relationships with what it is you're selling. And you need to build it in such a way that actually it's worth more than the money in their pocket. So they have a relationship with the money in their pocket, it's hard earned. And so what you've got to do is portray that through every single experience in your business. So when you talk about brand, you've got to talk about how you answer the phone, how you dress, how you turn up for work, how you package your product, how you shape your product, how you write about your product, how you design the systems and processes around your business, so that every single experience conveys this sense of relationship. And that's the difference between a brand. So when people say we're going to help you create your brand, find out whether they're going to come and immerse themselves in all of your systems, all of your processes, and orientate them towards the buyer, every single element of your business. If you don't do this, you're going to fail for certain. And if you do this, you will be ready for AI, because what AI is the humanization of machine learned systems and processes. So for those of you that are younger, you're going to look to develop businesses over the next 20 or 30 years. They will be AI led. And if you adopt this definition of brand and build your systems and processes so that they are mini relationship builders, you will create a brand. And when you've done that, then you should go for branding and turn your business into something like this. Let me just stop my share. Turn it something like this. Does anybody know what that is? Let me just get it so it's not shining in the light. Does anybody know what that is? Well,
Heinz 57 values, 57 varieties.
Okay, carry on. Varieties of what?
Exactly. Don't know. They
Don't
made
know.
it up.
Anybody else know? They made it up. They did indeed. Yeah. H.J. Heinz made this up. He decided he was on a train with 25 pairs of shoes. He saw a poster for 25 pairs of shoes. He said, I really like the idea of owning a number. So he chose 57. And then he went about owning the number 57. They changed their telephone number to 57, 57, 57. They moved to an address in Pittsburgh, which had 57 in the address. Up to 1969, if you wrote to Heinz and said, I'm approaching my 57th birthday, they would have then actually send you a box of 57 products. And in 1994, they paid $57 million for the Pittsburgh Steelers Stadium, which is now called the Heinz Stadium. That is branding. It is not brand. Brand is the many products and services. What about this? And today, just coincidentally, before I came on this course, I got a parcel. Look, that's very exciting. I don't get parcels that often. In it are these. I don't know if you can see those. Actually, I'll put them up the right way so you can see them on the camera. A pair of flip-flops from HubSpot. But it wasn't just that. It was Christmas. They also gave me a spongy stress ball to remind me that they're very stressful to work with, HubSpot, but they put their name on an orange. They've also given me a packet of handkerchiefs with the name HubSpot on them, and they've also given me some hand cleaner, right? I don't know if they know, but we're going to be released from lockdown very soon, so I won't need this either, right? What a complete waste of money. Every single piece of it. This complete thing, complete waste of money. I should give this to my dog. Will it eat it in 3 seconds? That'll be gone. This, I will probably just, I don't know what I'll do with that. No idea. And I will probably use this to what? No, I won't tell you what I'm going to do with it. And the fact is, these I shall probably put in my motorhome and get them very muddy the first time I wear them and throw them away. That is what branding is. Forget it. Focus on your systems, your processes, make them amazing, make them about your buyer, then you will have a true brand. That, ladies and gentlemen, is simply to stimulate the next 50 minutes. Thank you very much.